Hey, are you thinking of moving to Beacon, but you're not sure if it's the right place for you? Well, I've put together a list of 5 pros and cons about living in Beacon, New York from my experience of being here since 2018. Um, so if you're interested in knowing more, stick around. But first, if you could like and subscribe, click the buttons below. I would really appreciate it. It would really help me out getting this information out to other people and also letting you know when I have more info to share about Beacon's market as things evolve. So one of the things I love about Beacon, the first thing I really love about Beacon is the art scene. There's a really great art scene, and it really started with the Dia Beacon. It's the museum that's down by the river in the old Nabisco factory plant. And there are tons of galleries on, not tons, there are a lot of galleries on Main Street. And Beacon has a really robust community called Beacon Arts, which is which does the first Fridays or whatever, there's one of the week, once a month, they have open studios and people can come around and see your artwork, and the galleries are open. So there's a really robust art scene, and I always forget which day it is, even though I'm on the mailing list and I am an artist who lives in Beacon. But it exists, it's fun, people are involved with it, it's really awesome and great. I've been in some group shows myself, and I really find the arts community to be a wonderful source of just pure joy, just knowing that there's so many artists in Beacon. Okay, another thing that I love about Beacon is the outdoor activity. There's a ton of, you can go hiking right up Mount Beacon, which is right out my window over here, which is like a half a mile from me where I live. You can go walking down Dennings Point. You can go walking at Madam Brett Park. There are tons of places to walk and go hiking. And there's also kayaking at the Hudson River. You can get a kayak and just launch right there. And you can go biking. So there's just so much. And you're close to the rail trails, the New York State rail trails, which are just up in Wappingers Falls, which in Hopewell Junction, which is not very far from here. So you can get out and get on your bike, or go walking. There's just tons of outdoor activities to do. Another thing that people don't really talk about a whole lot is for when you live in Beacon is the Renegade baseball team. So the Yankees have a minor league baseball team, and their stadium is literally like 5 minutes from Main Street. So you can buy tickets. They're there all summer. It's really affordable. There's great parking. The stands are generally, you can pretty much sit anywhere you want. Unfortunately, not enough people go to the games. I wish more people would go. I wish I would go more. But the games are there, and so sports in Beacon is really awesome. So it's nice to have the Yankees minor league team there. And they have special days to celebrate different community events, which is really nice. Beacon also has a variety of housing. So you have lofts that have been turned into condos and apartments. You have factory buildings. You have factory buildings that have been turned into loft apartments and condos, and you can buy them, you can rent them. So there's like a variety of options if you want to live in like the Tribeca style looking loft apartment. You can get that here. A lot of the houses that were built in Beacon are factory style homes that were built when factories were a big part of the industry, the economy up here. So a lot of the homes are longer and narrower. And then you have newer homes, and then you have a lot of people who are coming in now and renovating the older homes. So you have like the wood frame homes, you have brick homes, you have loft style apartments, you have townhomes and condos, and just a lot of variety of housing. You have raised ranches, which is not exist. They're part of the whole area, the raised ranches. So you have that. So you have a lot of variety of housing. I live in a mansard style roof housing. Roof house. It's a really pretty house with like the square roof and the short shingle area. So it's really neat. So the variety of housing in Beacon is really cool. The other thing I like about Beacon is, even though I talked about it on another video, you don't have to have a car to live here. You can, if you just really want to take the train in and out of the city, you don't want to own a car, maybe you move up from Manhattan, you've never driven, it is possible to live here without a car. Now, I don't recommend it. I mean, I like having a car, I like having the freedom to go places. There's so many cool places to go in the Hudson Valley, but you can live in Beacon without a car. So that's a huge bonus for people who have never driven and want to move here. And there's an amazing dog park in Beacon. So if you have a dog and you don't know anybody and you want to make friends, you can go to the dog park. You can, I think it's there's an annual fee, But there are a lot of people there. I drive by there all the time. I don't have a dog, I have a cat, but having the dog park in town is really nice. And I know that the people who go there make really great friendships from there. So it's really cool. And bonus number 6 for a pro, people always wonder, is the Hudson Valley gay friendly, trans friendly? Is it friendly to diversity? And 100%. The Hudson Valley and Beacon in particular are very, very open to everybody's lifestyle, everybody's thinking, from all across the board, not just to the left or just to the right, or you have everybody all across the board. So the Beacon and the Hudson Valley are really, really friendly and diverse and gay friendly as well. So cons of living in Beacon. People always wonder, if they move up from a larger city or from a larger suburb, if it's going to be too small for them. And I will say that was my biggest challenge when I moved up here. Is Beacon is a lot smaller than any place I've ever lived in my life. I grew up outside of Dallas, Texas, in a college town with, in the metroplex of Dallas, Texas, Fort Worth, Texas, Denton, Texas. I grew up in Denton, and there are millions of people there. And I'm used to having massive highways and driving 50 miles to get to work, and 50 miles through bumper to bumper traffic and rush hour traffic. And I moved to New Jersey in 2008, and I lived in Jersey City, just outside of Manhattan. And, living in Beacon, when I moved here in 2018 was hard. It was really hard for me to make the adjustment. So the downside to Beacon is it is a small town, and you will bump into people from time to time. It does happen, and you better get along with everybody. The town is also, a downside is it's very landlocked. It's small, it's compact, it's landlocked. Again, that feeds into the small town vibe. So it's not very spread out. The houses and the lots are a lot closer together. So you're not going to get a house with a ton of land. I mean, there are houses that do have more land here, but they're a little further out. They're definitely not walkable. Most of them are not walkable from downtown. So if you're looking for a house with a lot of acreage, you're not going to find that probably within the central hub of the Beacon suburb, the Beacon urban area. And there are, because it's so small and compact between the mountain and then the Hudson River, and the mountain south, and then Fishkill and I-84 to the north, everything is pretty compact. Again, you're not going to get a lot of land when you buy a house here. One of the downsides is career. Like, there are not a lot of career options directly in Beacon. Beacon is a tourist town. There's not massive industry. You can you can go to Manhattan for work, you can go over to Westchester for work, you can go to Connecticut for work, you can work at an Amazon fulfillment center or Gap fulfillment center, you can go over to Middletown and work for Pratt & Whitney, I guess. You can work in the service industry, or if you are a professional consultant with a career, or you're a real estate agent, or you own a restaurant, stuff like that. There are jobs like that, but it's not like, again, like a big metropolitan area where you're going to be able to apply for a million different jobs and have your pick of anything within town. It's just not going to happen. So careers, it's better to be a remote worker or have your career set in stone, or even retired, or be an artist or something like that. Even though it's hard to make if you're an artist and you're living in Beacon, if you haven't been in your place for a long time, it's going to be hard to find someplace affordable because it is expensive. And that's another thing. So homes are significantly more expensive than surrounding towns. Let's say, like, you go north and you go to Fishkill, or you go over to Wappingers Falls, or you go across the river and you go to New Windsor or Newburgh Township, or you go further west towards Middletown. Beacon is more expensive. It is a more expensive place. I mean, you can be further away from Beacon, but if you're moving to Beacon because this is where you want to be, just know that the housing prices have gone up dramatically over the past few years. When I first started doing real estate, house prices were around $400,000 on average, and they've gone up 10 and 20% in the past year, and even in some neighborhoods and some houses, even more insane. They've gone up a lot more than that. So homes are very expensive. So those are some of the cons of living in Beacon or moving to Beacon. The rents are high, houses are more expensive, everything is compact. It's a smaller town. You will run into people, and there's not a lot of job opportunity here. So you better have something figured out before you decide to move here. But the pros of living in Beacon are fantastic. It's a wonderful place. It's beautiful. There's art, there's nature, there's great food, there's great people. There's great art events, there's outdoor activities, and it's just a wonderful place to be, and it's a very diverse and friendly place. All right, so if you're thinking of Beacon as a place for you to move to, or you're interested in moving to the Hudson Valley, give me a call. I would love to help you out. You know, I'd like to make your move smooth so it's not too stressful. I love working with buyers. And if you have a place to sell somewhere else, let me know, because I can help you find a real estate agent in that area. Or if you're moving from somewhere nearby and you're just moving, let's say from Pauling to Beacon, or Hopewell to Beacon, or something like that, moving within the Hudson Valley, I'd love to have the opportunity to help you sell your house and buy another house. So if you could take a minute just to like and subscribe, I would really appreciate it. And thanks for your time. I hope that you got a lot out of this video. And if you ever need to get in touch with me, feel free to reach out via call me or text me, or there's a form below in the description where you can fill it out, and it'll give me some of your information, like what you're looking for, what your price range is, not so much, but just like the general idea of when you're looking to move. Are you living somewhere that you need to sell, or do you have a lease? You know, what your time frame is, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, you know, stuff like that. Just who you are. It really takes only a couple of minutes to fill it out. It's not a big deal, but it would help me get in touch with you and make the transition easier. All right, so thanks a lot. Thanks for checking this video out on how on my impression of 5 pros and cons of Beacon. Thanks.